Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. We're often told that self love is important to our overall well being, but there are a lot of misconceptions about what that really means. Here to break it all down for us, we welcome back trauma informed life coach and author of 365 Happy Bedtime Mantras, Shannon Kaiser. It's so great to see you.
Hi, it's really good to be back. Thank you.
You have a new contribution in the Chicken Soup for the Soul book. Tell me about it.
I do. This is my seventh contribution, and this is very important because it's about self care. And the story that is in the book is really personal. It's actually my personal story on how I learned to accept my body through the contrast of having a whole lifetime of really feeling like other people were criticizing it. I'd often have people in my life call me names like thunder thighs or pleasantly plump. And as a plus size woman, I would internalize that until I started to heal and recognize that a lot of these things are actually abusive and we don't need to be commenting about people's bodies. So the story is a really beautiful journey of how I learned to accept myself and really reclaim my power.
That's so awesome, Shannon. I just appreciate how much you share all those things with all of us because sometimes it can be really hard to talk about.
Yeah, I really appreciate that too. Part of the healing for me is to talk about it and reclaim kind of the personal power because there's so many people when I was in it, I didn't know that I was being abused and self-love was a big part of that. Emotional abuse happens to so many people and we don't even realize it because we are taught we have to sacrifice ourselves or, constantly forgive other people, but I'm really believe in self-respect. And the more I started to love myself, the more I realized, wow, we kind of have it all wrong. And there's a lot of misconceptions with self love.
Let's go into a few of those right now. So, number one on the list here, self care is not self love. Break that down for us.
Yeah, if we think about it, a lot of times we're taking care of ourselves and we're like, I'm loving myself. But self care is the responsibility of us as humans. It's kind of like shelter for yourself, or, it's basic 101. So we need to be taking care of ourselves. We have to really start there. We have to be brushing our teeth, keeping a clean home, showering or bathing normally. Sometimes we misconstrue and say, I'm loving myself. But if you're depressed or anxious, and I've suffered from mental health issues, I know that it can be really hard to. So we have to start there. Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. So you really want to protect your mental health and realize, yes, I'm loving myself, but I deserve to care for myself. And then we move into self love, which is more about how things look. It's actually more about how things feel than how they look, which is another misconception. Self love is about how we feel on the inside, not getting my nails done or my hair's done or my perfect new outfit. That's well and good, but we live in a world that really looks at the outside. And that's why so many of us are feeling disconnected on the inside. So when we're talking about self love, ask yourself, does this make me feel safe? Do I feel honored? Do I feel respected? That's true self love.
Because we're all worthy. Sometimes it's just hard to recognize that in those dark moments. Okay, here's the next one. Loving yourself doesn't mean loving everything about yourself. Ooh.
Such a misconception of people in my coaching practice and retreats. They come and they think that we have to just accept everything, and that's exactly the opposite of what real self-love is. It's knowing that we are flawed people, but our flaws make us beautiful, and learning to accept what is. I really struggled for a long time being a plus size woman, but then I was like, this is how I'm made, and I started to love it and appreciate it. And now there's no more inner turmoil, so I can live my life more fully. And so we have to look at our inner critic. What is it you're saying about yourself? Most likely other people aren't even thinking about it. And even if they are, doesn't matter. You just protect yourself.
It's true. We're pretty hard on ourselves internally a lot of the time. Okay, self love is about standing out, not fitting in. Tell me about that.
I love this one because so often we try so hard to fit in. We want validation and love and appreciation from others. So we sometimes sacrifice ourselves and we don't show up for ourselves. The reverse and what really self love is allowing yourself to be who you are. And that means you're going to stand out because not one person on the planet is like the next. We are all unique in our own way. And the more you love yourself, the more you realize, gosh, I'm pretty amazing in my weird quirks and all these little habits that I have. That's pretty awesome because that's who I am. And so self love comes from the inside, not trying to get validation on the outside.
Yeah, we all bring something special to the table for sure. Okay, this one, the self love journey has no end point. That sounds kind of overwhelming.
I'm only laughing because you're not alone in
I,
that. One of us feels that way. And I'm laughing with sincerity because, yes, that's how it feels. But if we look at it like, how great that I get to choose to love me, take care of me for the rest of my life. And that's really what it's about. It's an unfolding journey and it has layers. Maybe this year it's about I'm going to show up for myself in my dreams. Maybe next year it's about I'm going to really take care of my body, and then you start to put it all together and you realize that you are the most important person to care for, because when you care for yourself, everyone else in your life is able to be really cared for as well.
We've got time for just one more. So, how about self love is not selfish?
I'm glad we're picking this one because so many people first come to my events and they say, it's really hard to take care of myself or show up because it feels selfish. I think we want to separate that. We live in a world that often has a lot of people who are very selfish and narcissistic in nature or very self serving. That's not at all what self love is. So, a lot of us are looking to that thinking that's what it is. And so we shy away. True self love is honoring yourself, respecting yourself, and saying, I matter.
We do matter, and it's sometimes you just have to be reminded of it, and that's okay. And thank you so much for sharing with us. It's always so great chatting with you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank
We'll
you.
see you soon. Okay, again, Shannon's book is Happy Bedtime Mantras, and we'll have more information, including a link to the new Chicken Soup for the Soul, all on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this